upside of my ass. I got the sunlight doing crazy feats for me and doing things that you can't never get nobody else to get it to do. And then all of a sudden you want to look at me like, look at this. This was going to be a techno. What they call an obelisk, I call a techno. This is a phallus, a SARS phallus is what that is. They cut these things in the ground in some kind of way, make them stand up. I know how they did it now with them light ships. I bet those light ships were helping them do that. I bet you they were. It sure helped me that night. When the night I told you my car flipped over, they showed me that they could make heavy objects levitate. They even be making me do it. I woke up one night and stuck my ass up on the ceiling. I'm telling you, I'm not lying to you guys. I'm telling you the truth. I've been doing research that tells me I used to live here, and that when I lived here, I was a pharaoh, and I did the proper rituals, and I lived the proper life where I could incarnate and come back to this earth. And that's what has happened, because one day I woke up thinking about Egypt, and after that shit happened, strange things been happening in my life. I got 30 years younger. I became smart as hell. I became strong as hell. I stopped drinking, smoking, fornicating, eating meat. All that stuff just happened all of a sudden when the spirit moved into my body and started talking. One day it whispered in my ear. And ever since that day it whispered in my ear, everything has changed. Everything. And I can't stay away from this stuff. This is the only thing I want to do, is study this stuff. And there go me right there on the wall with my girl, Aset. That's Asari and Aset. It's just a beautiful thing. I can't really think of nothing else that's worth worrying of. As you can see right here, look. Now look, it gets no better than that. Do you see this crown right here on this lady's head? Do you see it right there? Look. Do you see? Okay, now we're not going to act like we don't know who we give this credit from this civilization to. Because as you can see, there goes Ptah too. This guy is the universal creator. He created the universe. This lady is his wife, the goddess Segnet. And his name is Ptah. Doesn't he look like what they give you as an Oscar when you do good in Hollywood? Ain't that where you saw that before? Ain't that something? Okay, let me move her over here out of the way, and we'll keep going with this, all right? But yeah, all this stuff right here is just one of the reasons why when people be looking at me crazy when I go in the store and they think they're going to make me feel like I'm low or I'm something beneath them, I look at them like, you need to shut the fuck up, because I've studied and I know who the fuck I am, and I know that makes me know who you are. See, all these places right here, these lotus columns right here, what they are is like centers of learning is what these were. The sunlight would play unique tricks inside of these architectural structures when they got to certain positions in the sky. So the student masons and everything will be in all these buildings studying constellations and studying the reaction that the sun would have on these structures according to their placement at the right given interval. Okay, so that's what that's all about. And so the whole world is all based on the fact of everybody having a conceptualization around knowledge that is not abiding and knowledge that is not true. The true knowledge of the whole world came from the builders right here that built these structures that we're looking at right now, where all these Europeans are privileged to have money to go ahead and visit and everything, and then they be trying to make black people feel like it's so taboo to go over there yourself to see the ingenuity of your ancestors, which is you, because it's still inside of your genetic makeup, whether you want to tap into it or not. It's there. This lotus column is based on the flower that be in the river or in the muddy ponds, and at night when the sun go down, it immerses under the water, but it meets the sunrise in the morning and comes back up, but it comes back up without any of the dirty water remaining on its pelt. So it's a real good representation of, if you will, being around filth but not having to be filth. And that's the reason why the Egyptians always used the lotus flower as something that was symbolic to keeping clear thoughts, so you could be able to keep clear actions. Clean thoughts produces clean actions. Is what the motto was. Now you can see this is the Nile River where they built the Aswan Dam at. And the Aswan Dam is what blocked up all the water flow and brought drought to a lot of people all over Africa and caused a lot of damage and a lot of murder to a lot of the indigenous population there. When the Europeans went in and built that dam, they just had no regard or no consideration for the millions of lives that had lived there forever, and they just cut their water off, and by cutting their water off, they diverted water to another place where they supplied people with more water than they wanted. You know how that goes, okay? So I mean, it's like really sad the way that our whole nationality of people has been eradicated and just destroyed, you know? It really is. And I mean, I'm not trying to be mean or nothing, I'm just telling you guys the truth, that's all. You know? And so all this stuff has been going on and we haven't been able to get a grasp of any true anything. The stuff right here, you can definitely see the black faces right there. I mean, you know what I mean? That's the SAR right there. As you can see, the stonemasons doing the stone walls. You see them, right? You see them carving the stones? You guys see that? Let me show you what I mean. That's how they made the stones. See that? That's a SAR right there. He was the greatest worship deity of all of them. And the reason why is because he was an actual deity. I bet that's Akhenaten right there. I want to see. I'm getting kind of pissed off because, you know, when I go to see this stuff, I don't want to see a lot of people talking. I just want to see soldiers. I mean, statues. It's really sad that you always got to hear people rhetoric, and this don't be true rhetoric. I hate when I see their faces because I know they're going to give you some bullshit. You never hear them tell you that these pyramids were put right in the middle of center Earth, which means that these pyramids should be the prime meridian, that everyone that does any construction project should pour their numbers off of the Great Pyramid, Khufu, or the Giza Plateau. No, they're going to give you the prime meridian being somewhere in Greece or Rome somewhere, when they know for a fact that the geodesics knowledge of the ancient Kemetians had them already locate dead center Earth and have structures put on it. But since the Europeans want to try to claim to be the oldest and most ancient people on the Earth, they just gonna force the prime meridian to be somewhere in Greece. I don't know where, because I don't care, because I already did my research and I know for a fact that dead center is right there in Cairo, Egypt. I already know that. And I know the power of this thing right here. I already know that too. And that's the reason why they showed you it rising right over here. Because this is what it meets in the morning. This and the Sphinx. Watch, listen what he says.
The Arabs have a saying: the world fears time,
but time fears the pyramid. And that is not an Arab saying. That is an ancient Kemetic saying. See, that's what I hate about them.
1.5 million sunrises have cast their shadow across the sand.
First thing that happened when the sun rises.
Have played at its feet, much like the children of today. History has etched its mark upon the face of the Great Pyramid.
Stole the black top off of it. Stole the black cap. Now watch them give you some white people. Watch what I tell you. Now that's Horus. That's the Ram. Amun-Ra. Amun-Ra, right? That's Ramsey with Ra-Horace with the sun god in the window.
Known as the Giza Plateau. From this prominent position, they offer a commanding view of the Nile Delta, that fertile lowland stretching toward the Mediterranean.
Now, this one, I'm glad they showed us that.
The last of these monuments
Oh, shit.
is the tomb of Menkura's father. The last of these monuments to be built, and the smallest, is the tomb of a king named Menkura. Major pyramids that stand on the rock outcropping known
Alright, check this out.
There are 3 major pyramids that stand on the rock outcropping known as the Giza Plateau. From this prominent position, they offer a commanding view
Now, this
of
is
the
really
Nile
cool.
Delta,
I want to show you
that
guys
fertile
something.
lowland stretching toward the Mediterranean.
Sorry about the delay. Listen, you see this right here? Now, this is called the fallopian tube of the Nile. As you can see, this right here, what they call the Nile Delta, is definitely shaped like the female vagina right here. And as you can see, there's that tube right there. That'll be the fallopian tube and everything right down there. Now, during in the nation every year, when the Nile River rises and it goes back down here, it brings the topsoil down, which is what built up North Egypt. And as it brings the topsoil down, the topsoil will be red. And so the Nile River used to have a menstruation once a month, just like the female has a menstruation once a month. Now, check this out. This is what's really cool. The Nile River has 3 cataracts in it. And the cataracts is synonymous with, I guess, if you will, like polar objects or whatever that the water has a restriction to, which makes it have to go around and woo 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 and all this old crap. You know what I'm saying? But it's synonymous with the polar objects that rotates around the woman's egg inside of her uterus when she's become fertile, and it also is synonymous with the planet's orbit around our sun. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out to you. You see how synonymous that is with the shape of a female's vagina, and then there's the fallopian tube of the Nile Valley. Okay, let's go.
The last of these monuments to be built, and the smallest, is the tomb of the Nile Delta, that fertile lowland stretching toward the Mediterranean.
According to Christian Bible, this would be where the runaway Israelites crossed the Red Sea at, somewhere in there. I would hope not here, or even down here. Well, this is where Egypt is, up here. So I would think that somewhere over there where the river is real thin at, if indeed they did cross it. I don't know, don't care. But what I'm saying to you is that according to that Bible, it was somewhere up in there that they went into the Sinai. I don't buy none of that crap, okay? I don't.
The last of these monuments to be built are silent. It's it, the Great Pyramid. Do agree. Dot 20. Originally, it was for some 30 centuries.
Okay.
Until
Alright, now this is how it originally looked, with all this beautiful limestone on it. The Arabs went in there and stole all this limestone off in the name of Allah. Okay, so they went in there, murdered, just like the Christians did. All those people who usurped Egypt made their own religions off of the Egyptians educating them. They made their own religions and then went back into Egypt and killed the Egyptian people in the name of their gods and enslaved them. And then these people went from making work like this beautiful type work like this, to being freaking slaves and all that old stupid shit. You know what I mean? So I don't really care what anybody has to say. The main thing that you're working with in this day and time is the true reality of what's the real prospect of truth. All the garbage and all the bullshit is all just garbage and bullshit. This right here speaks for itself. There's nobody else on earth that can build any structures like this to this day, even though they try to, even though they want to take credit away from the people.